Hey there, in this particular video, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of the RStudio. RStudio is the IDE for the base R language, and we write our code in this particular RStudio because it is easier to, because RStudio provides many other options also, and it is easier to work in an IDE rather than a base language as per me. So this particular part of the RStudio here, this is known as the script window. Here you write your code. For example, if I want to make an array of two elements 1 comma 2, I have to just write this particular code. Now how to create the array, matrix, data frame, this will be explained in another video. And if you want to execute any line in R or per se RStudio, you hold Control and press enter on the Windows operating system, and on the Mac operating system you hold command key and press return. So make sure your cursor, okay, where it is blinking, it is on that line. Anywhere it doesn't matter, hold command and press return on Mac OS, because I'm using Mac OS here, and it has executed that particular line. You can also use this particular button to run that particular line. As you can see that it also shows run the current line or selection. Now this part of the RStudio is the console window, where it shows what line of the code it has executed, and the outputs will be shown here also. You can also write codes in this particular console window, but they don't get stored, and that is why we write the code in the script window. And one thing, if you do not see the script window here, what you can do is you can go to File, New File, and choose R script. You can also save the script by clicking this particular icon, or you can press Command S on the Mac OS or Control S on the Windows OS. Give it the path, and that is how you will store it. Now let's say if I want to see the output of this particular variable X, what I'll do is I'll just write X here. There are other ways of doing it, but just for demonstration purpose I'm showing. Now if I want to run this particular line, line number 2, I'll just select this line or put my cursor here, click here, and command plus return on Mac OS and control plus enter on the Windows OS. As you can see in the console, the output will be shown. Now console is also handy if you want to just, let's say, see one variable. Okay, what is there in the one variable? I want to see the element. So what you can do is you can write that particular variable's name and press enter. So whenever you execute any line in console, you just need to press enter or return on the depending upon the version of your operating system. Now this particular part of the RStudio shows you what are the current variables which have been declared, and the variables, what are those values, what are the elements in those variables will be shown in this particular part of the RStudio. You can also use this particular option which is there in the RStudio to import the file, but we can also do the same thing by using one line of the code. It also shows you the history of the commands that you have executed. Some tutorials, if you want to see, you can also see from here. This particular part of the RStudio shows you the current the content of the current working directory. So in the RStudio, what I do is, if I just write in the console here, or you can write in the script window here, but let me write it in the console, get wd, and if I press enter here, it shows me what is my current working directory. So by default, everything will be stored here, and by default, if I want to read anything from here, I just need to provide the file name, not the path. So this is the current working directory. We can also set our working directory by using this particular set wd option, and we can just put the the path of the working directory which we want to set as a working directory. So that can also be done here. Here in this particular space, you can also see the option of plot. So let's say if you have plotted something, it will appear here. It shows what are the packages which are installed right now, and about the packages I will just talk in a minute. And these are mainly help file. Also you can see from here, if you want to look at the help file, and let's say if you want to understand what this particular function does, you can just select the function here, and then you can see the syntax for that particular function. So these are the major things that are used in the RStudio. Now the second thing is about installing the packages. So whenever R is installed on a system or RStudio is installed on a system, it doesn't contain all the packages. So only the required packages are loaded in the particular RStudio. But let's say if I want to read an Excel file. For reading an Excel file, I need a package which is called read Excel. And there are other packages also which you require. For example, there's a machine learning package. So for that, you have to install it before running it. Now, how to install packages in the R? There are two ways. The best ways that I prefer is I write this particular command, install dot packages, and if you see here, it also gives you a hint. RStudio gives you kind of, not hint exactly, but it shows you what are the similar to this, what are the options which are available here in the form of the code. So install.packages, I'll just click here, and here in these double quotation, I will write the name of package which I want to install. Let's say read Excel, because this particular package is used to read the Excel file. RStudio will not read the file if you do not install this particular package, and press enter. Now if you see here, it is installing. It has already installed this particular package. Now this particular package can be used to install the read the Excel file. And whenever we run R or RStudio, every time we have to load the package. So installation is one-time process, and let's say if you want to use this particular package in your code, what you need to do is just type this command, library read Excel, and it will also show you the hint. Okay, what are the similar packages to that, whatever you have right here. So library read Excel, press enter. Now this package is loaded, and now you can read the Excel file from here. So just to summarize the packages, the R contains only essential packages by default. You have to install the packages if you want to use certain functionality in the R. Now installing the packages is a one-time process, but every time you have to load the package. Whenever you run a fresh code, you have to load the package by using this command, which is library read Excel. So what people usually do is they declare the package. For example, I will declare here in my code here, library read Excel, hold command, press return on macOS, or on the Windows it's control plus enter, and you can see that the package is loaded because it has executed the line and did not give any error. And R is a very simple language. For example, if you want to add two numbers, I'll just demonstrate it in the console here only. Let's say 5 plus 2, it shows you 7. So it's like you are using a calculator. Now this is a basic simple walkthrough in RStudio, and in the subsequent videos I'll show you how to create different type of data frames, how do you load the data, how do you create certain array, and what are the other things, the basic things that you require before you start the data analytics or data analysis on the RStudio. So that's all for this video. Stay tuned.